If it is that you're just putting on a sexy because you think it's selling and you just want to make some money, you're not going to do it successfully and you're not going to do it for a long time, because it does require a level of authenticity to make it real and to make it profitable.
Welcome in.
Let that sink in.
Where the objective is to help you, our viewers, sell your ideas and yourselves as best as possible. And based on today's topic, you'll know why that is so funny. I am Vaughn, and my co-host is PR and marketing practitioner Carlette Deleon. Talk to the people, Carlette.
Hey, how you doing? I hope everybody's good.
All right, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel. I guarantee it will be one of the best button presses you will make. And if you know you would enjoy our show, then don't keep it to yourself. Share it like the gospel. Well, we've got a great show for you today. We're looking at the power of sex appeal when it comes to selling yourself to your target audience. Of course, not literally. We're open-minded, but we're not that kind of show, right? We're dive deep into just how marketers use sex to sell all types of products, from pins to anchors. And we have as our guest someone who is eminently qualified to talk this topic. We have with us Dr. Sexy and Shelly Ann.
Hey.
All right.
Hey. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So, well, before we get to the discussion, let's give them the backstory behind today's episode. All right. So, I'm watching TV the other day and on comes an ad for Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And suddenly it occurs to me that this family has been in the international spotlight for about 2 decades now and have a commercial empire worth billions of dollars. And that empire was built on the back of a sex tape. Let me say that again. A sex tape. Prior to the tape, the family was just another run-of-the-mill, well-off family in the United States. A sex tape featuring one of the family members, Kim, got out, and rather than shrink from it, the family matriarch, Chris, parlayed the situation into a TV show and a whole range of commercial products and lines that has not only enriched the family, but cemented them on the list of top-tier celebrities around the world. Say what you want, but they are straight winning right now. And while they might not be everybody's cup of tea, like Carlette, they are clearly lessons in
mine. I cannot stand not even one of them.
Well, guess what?
There
are still lessons in branding, imaging, and marketing to be learned from the situation for persons looking to attain similar levels of success and popularity. And a large part of it is using your sex appeal to sell yourself to your target audience. And believe it or not, there's actually a term associated with this kind of activity. It's called erratic capital. How them get that, I don't even know. But how do you utilize your erratic capital? Okay, Dr. Sexy Ann, over to you. What is your initial reaction to all this information?
Well, I'm a very big fan of people being able to use what they have to get what they want. Your example, you use the Kardashians as I don't know if I'd use them as an example, but I suppose based on the spin that you use, the fact that we learned who Kim Kardashian was because of the sex tape, but a whole heap more went into what they do other than the sex tape, and a lot of it had to do with their tapping into black culture and pretty much raping black culture, and they're doing nothing to pay back. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
but as it relates to using your sex appeal to sell, that has been going on for as long as I can remember, and the person that I would think about if I'm really going to use an example is Madonna. I emulated Madonna growing up as a child, because what she said to me in her representation was she's being authentically who she is. And I think that's where the superpower is If it is that you're just putting on a sexy because you think it's selling and you just want to make some money, you're not going to do it successfully and you're not going to do it for a long time, because it does require a level of authenticity to make it real and to make it profitable. Now, if you can fake the authenticity, that's a thing, but it has to come through, because people can tell if you don't want to be there and you're trying a thing. And that's not attractive, regardless of what you look at it and how you see it. So I have no problems at all with people using their sex appeal to sell whatever they're selling. And you said in your introduction, you mentioned that you're not open-minded. I am a very big fan of brothels. I think prostitution needs to be legal. I think that people need to be able to sell whatever they want to sell, as long as they're grown-ups and they're choosing it.
You know what? No judgment. I like it. This is gonna be a fun.
I'm telling you.
Carlette, what's your initial reaction to all this about using your erotic appeal?
In principle, I agree that you should be able to sell what you want to sell. You know, whatever asset you have, you should be able to leverage it. However, I much prefer. I'm so stuck in the dark ages. I believe in empowerment and all of that, but at the same time, I believe in roles. So I don't want to be like, I'm a feminist, I can do what I want to do, and then the gentleman doesn't open the door for me, because that's a nice thing to do. So I'm like, of the two minds.
Both of those things can happen at the same time, Carlette.
They should. I must admit, I found that men are intimidated when women are too assertive, when women take ownership of what is theirs and use it to their advantage. Many men that I have known have said, well, she's too uppity, she's too bright.
I don't know about that still. I think the man them kind of would want more of that.
You're talking about the men them, you're not easy.
All three of them.
All right, Shelly. Now, as someone who tries to empower women to step into their sexuality with confidence, or as a woman who doesn't know where to begin, where this is concerned. Let's say, where does plain Jane how does that process begin for her if she decides that, I'm tired of saying, Ati Shelly, see what I did there? I get noticed by the bosses, get noticed by the superiors, and then move ahead and realize that she might need to start playing that game. Where does that process begin?
Well, just now I spoke about authenticity. It has to be real. If you're just putting on an act to get to a goal, it's not going to be as easy to do. One, you're not going to be comfortable with doing it. Two, and three, the person who you're trying to attract or trying to manipulate with your sexy may not receive you, which is why authenticity is important. Now, as far as feminism and empowerment and all of those things are concerned, I am a feminist. I've identified as a feminist. Matter of fact, I identify myself. One day, my father said something to me and I responded, and he goes, "Yo, you're a feminist." And I didn't know what it meant at the time, and I went and looked it up, and apparently I am a feminist. And what feminism means to me is the ability to choose. And choosing doesn't mean all feminists is going to be able to do the same thing and all of us want the same thing. It just means that I get to choose my life, Carlette gets to choose her life, and the other women get to choose their life. And her life might look completely different from mine. So that level of authenticity must be there, because that is going to determine, one, how you present yourself. Because people forget that sexy and naked are not mutually exclusive. You can be naked and not be sexy, and you can be fully covered and be hella sexy, like I am right now. I'm just saying, sexy is not just a feeling.
Yes.
So if you in yourself, you exude that confidence, and you know that you have as a foundation a level of authenticity and honesty about who you are and have accepted who you are. If you're selling sexy, then it's going to be like grieving for you. But if you just sit down over here so bad mind, because you see one sexy lady over there, so all sexy in our seximent, and you feel like you want to be sexy too.
That's the point, because authentic, sure, that's all well and good enough, but the fact of the matter is you still see Ati Shelly, who he's the boss always.
No, but then we're talking about bad man.
Boss
Bad
always
mind.
ask her opinion. The boss always invite her in to come sit down and discuss the next move that the company is going to make. And it's because she was able to get herself noticed by using
No,
her
it
sex.
just sound like Shelly smart.
Exactly.
And Shelly
Exactly.
know what she do. That don't
So
sound like it's
how,
a sexy thing. Like it don't just
how
sound like it's a
plain,
sexy thing.
So
is
so
very
let me
smart, yes,
jump
but
in.
so how plain Jane going to be able to use the same level of smart? How she going to be able to say, you know what Shelly I do? I want to do it too because I mean, I'm not
I
going to do
don't
as
know
much
if that
as she
that's
do.
the
But
right example you want to use because based off that example, it sounds like plain Jane if you go read something and study up and get herself ready to
Yes,
do the job.
yes,
Because it
yes,
sounds like what is being asked of Shelley has to do with what she knows and her abilities and not so much how she looks.
yes. I'm going
no,
to
but you
wholeheartedly
have
hold on, hold
you
on,
know,
Vaughn. Let the women
Carlette,
speak
go
now.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to wholeheartedly agree. If I can get it on my back, or I can get it with my brains, and somebody else has the same opportunity, back or brains, believe you me, even if she wicked on her back, brains are gonna hold out eventually. You just have to use those brains that you have to maneuver around to get out the girl on her back.
No, that's the thing. My thing is always use it to get noticed. My thing is, you don't need to go and go full back. You don't need to go like back and sleep away from the top. That's not the goal. The goal is
Mm.
to get yourself noticed so that when the time comes and the boss says, you come here, come. What do you think about this idea? You
But you
can
can get yourself noticed when you use your
so on
brains.
and so forth. But you
Yeah.
use
Yeah, but
sex
like
to
I
get
don't. That's what
noticed.
I'm saying. This type of example, I don't think maybe is the right example. Where you,
Fair,
let us
fair,
switch. Let
fair.
us switch the example.
Give me a better.
Now, what? Let me give you a different example. And a lot of
Yes,
persons have been talking about this. Is the dancehall artists, the female dancehall artists
yes.
who have OnlyFans account and they are doing some very ultra sexy things on OnlyFans. I
Ultra
don't know if any of them
sexy.
are doing porn, but just FYI, OnlyFans is not a pornographic site. There are pornographic accounts on
Okay.
OnlyFans.
A
All
Okay.
lot
of the accounts on OnlyFans
are
is
not.
not pornographic.
Yes.
The whole
Here, here.
concept of OnlyFans is you are going to create a space where your fans will pay to come and see you there. You have
As
people
opposed
on
to the
OnlyFans who doing what
exploitation.
we're doing right now.
Right.
You have
Yes.
people on OnlyFans who are just there dancing. You have people
Mm.
on OnlyFans who's doing full-on naked, penetrative, all the things you see on Pornhub porn.
Making
So
practice.
just put
Oh
that
my
out there. Now, you have dancehall artists, and I don't know if the male ones are doing it, but I know for sure that there are a few select female dancehall artists that have chosen to have OnlyFans account. And based on the things that I've seen that are leaked from the OnlyFans account, it looks like they're doing a level of nudity that they don't usually do in the usual dancehall space.
Hmm.
Now, some people have a
Softcore.
problem with that because, of course, the conversation when they see women who have had children being sexy, them ask them, what about the kids? They never ask this question of the men, by the way. Let me just throw that out. But for
Seriously,
some reason, everything that a woman does, she's being asked, what about the kids? She could cure cancer, find the cure for corona tomorrow. Them
How she
invite them
leave her
in,
pit in your
them
yard.
interview her and realize she don't have any children. Them say, so what about the children? So no matter what we do, we have to account for the kids, hypothetical or real.
Mm.
With that aside, I believe that we should leave them alone. They are
Okay.
grown-ups. And if they want to sell and if they want to do full-on penetrative, have gangbangs on their OnlyFans account, pay your subscription and go and watch them if you're interested. Otherwise, leave them alone.
Alone.
Yeah, but all right.
So
So
wait, I
Shelly,
have a question. I have a question. Go ahead, Vaughn. Then. Oh,
I
so we're
want to
talking
know
about
like
children and adults. Where does the line? Where's the line crossed when you see? Excuse me a second. Hopefully not COVID. Um, a
Bona
12-year
COVID.
old girl, but not COVID. A 12-year-old girl being over sexualized. I remember when Britney Spears hit the cover of Rolling Stone with that picture, and everybody was like, "She's 16. Why is she posing like that on Rolling Stone?" When can women finally flaunt what they got because they want to? When are they women? Are they at 16, 14, 22?
Yeah, obviously not women at 16 and 14. We already set a standard as what makes a woman an adult and what makes her a child.
Mhm.
And I think that we need to stick to that standard. I
mm,
think that the term over sexualized, I'm concerned about just because I think we give female artists too much responsibility. We don't give that kind of responsibility to the men. And what I mean by that is, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Madonna. I admired Madonna from my
I
beginning.
even bought her book.
Okay, I have the book too.
Sex. Ooh.
Yes, I have the Immaculate Conception collection, which I think is absolute. Matter of fact, when we're done there, so I'm going to listen to it again. And there are people who would say that as a child, I should not be listening to Madonna because she was so sexual. At that time, it was naked or in Madonna. I don't like the nice new material Madonna, but I understand she old now. But I like naked orange, stand up at the side, naked, with our book in her hand, Madonna. I love that Madonna. Okay? And I'm saying, at the end of the day, these are human beings. And they are not just the persona that they present in their work. Because that's what it is. If they're entertainers, they're at work whenever they're entertaining, whatever the space is. Some do it online, some do it on a stage, and all of that. They should be allowed to do that on stage and then get back to their lives.
Okay.
What we do to women is we hold them responsible for what they do on camera, what they do on stage, and we act as if that is the only person that they are. Men don't get that.
No.
Michael Jackson, no, we're not use Michael Jackson.
Let's
Beenie Man.
quickly.
Picking up, please. Yeah. Oh, wow. All right.
Ooh, yes. Sexy Madonna.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Cool. All right.
Beenie Man
All right. I take it
gets
down
to
now.
have all of his children him have. I don't know how much, but he have plenty of them. With more than one baby mother. Nobody ask him nothing about it. Him don't have to defend it. Him not have to talk about, well, you know, I made a mistake with that lady and she got pregnant. Him not have to explain himself. All of these things. One dancehall artist is seen kissing an ex-man other than the man who you normally see her with. And oh my gosh, the whore. Why aren't we killing her in the square? What about her child?
Concern, erratic capital, nothing wrong with it. You have to use what you want because there are levels to your personality. Your sexuality is yours. And when you're done, you can use it. And when you're done, you put it on the shelf and you go back to being mother, wife, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just another role you step in. So therefore, if you want to use it, use it up. It's your business, right?
Yes. But we're all human beings. Isn't that what our life is?
I agree.
We have different capacity in our lives.
Speaking of human beings, you notice that women can use what they want to use, but let's flip the script for a moment. In advertising, advertisers are always using women to sell.
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's because
Why don't they use
generally
men to
agree
sell?
that the female body is the actual is more beautiful than the male one. This is not me. I don't make
Well,
this.
that is changing.
You know what I
That
mean?
is changing.
Alright,
Because
so- What? Say that again? Oh God, what? We don't reach there so yet, Carlette. We soon talk about that. We don't reach there so yet. Next question. for
initially
Carlette.
they were using half-naked women before because at the time it was considered that men were the ones who are out making the money. And because they are the ones making the money, then they are the ones who are spending the money. Carlette, you're in marketing and PR and all of that. We know that a lot of that has had to change because women are spending money and women are spending a whole heap of money. Like right now, there are industries that will just go completely bankrupt if women stop wearing eyelash.
That's not true.
So
I don't know
the
that
narrative had to change. So go ahead.
I said that industry they kind of confuse me to this day, but again, that is the next podcast.
You're not their target market. You don't need to understand it. They're not trying to talk to you. That's why you're confused. Don't worry about it. It's not your thing.
Right,
But what I'm saying is, in the spaces where they use half-naked women, they use it for products that men mostly buy. So you'll see the half-naked girl holding the can of beer, drinking it on a hot day. For some reason, she's driving a boat and eating a burger. These things don't happen in real life, but
of course not.
that's the ad. Okay?
So
And she's always putting something in her mouth for some reason.
Yeah, of course. So one of the questions I have more ask you in particular is, can you tell me, What is it just a little base primal urge appeal to your base and your primal urge, or is there actually some science and some method to the madness when they go about having the half naked woman selling the body wash or the or the paint or something was completely ridiculous and unrelated to anything whatsoever, but they put a half naked woman on there and make her sell it. And what is the reaction that they can count on to happen to make sure that the man is, oh, half naked chick, I clearly must need to go and buy some washer now or wiper fluid or something.
Burger.
It works. I'm telling you, no woman who look like that eat that burger. If she actually look like that, she's cutting that burger in 4 and she's having a salad. She don't eat the burger.
She's having a salad.
Oh,
she's cutting that burger. Matter of fact, she's probably vegan.
You're probably right.
So I'm telling you. But it works.
Why does it work so effectively?
Because you're men. Men, first of all, men are so easily distracted. Like, you just need to see one nice round bottom and no can completely just mid-sentence.
I needed to take the judgment out of your voice right now when you say that. Take a judgment. No judgment.
That's not judgment, that's observation.
You sound too judgy a while ago.
That's just observation, honey.
Right,
I have sat and watched watch women walk past them. And all of them, they're talking. Woman walk past, all of them do this. There's no coordinator. There's nobody say, okay, after 3, 1, 2, 3. And they all turn at the same time. Nobody not talk. Nobody not say, boss, you know what I say? Everybody.
Preach it, sister.
But just I say, yes, that happens.
Okay.
Yes, that happens. That's all I. Yeah,
that's all I can say. That's all I can say.
So it works.
Let me stick up in something else now. All right. I believe maturity is a journey, not a destination. You can speak from where you are because you reach a stage of enlightenment where it comes to this.
Oh no, I've been like this all my life, but continue.
There you go. Now, other women who will see you and think like, because I mean, the idea that women embracing them sexuality and using it to their advantage is not something that, especially in Jamaica, well, it's half and half. Because you have the half who's the dancer set who understand the value of it and know for use it. They have the next half who's the church girl set who.
It's not half and half, but I get what you're saying because most women don't think like that.
Yeah, someone
said. The question is, how do you convince the church girl set that maybe, just maybe, there's a lesson to learn from Spice or Shensi?
You don't.
You know what I mean?
You can't. In order for, I like you call it the church set, in order for the church set to learn anything from Spice, they would have to listen to her. They would have to be open-minded. They would have to at least try to see her perspective. Them not do that. Them straight up judge her because she has sinned and she's encouraging people to fornicate and she don't even dress good. Look what she have on. I mean, Jesus can't even walk past her in peace because her outfit, you know? I mean, Jesus wouldn't even want to sit down in the same room with her. She got church, the building and cave in. So that's what they think. So I'm sure there are things that she probably can learn. I'm sure there are insights that she probably can give. But in order for them to get it, they would have to embrace her. They would have to listen to what she has to say. And because a lot of them come from a space of judgment, they're not going to.
But then, all right, let's take the church people out of it then. Let's take somebody who's not a middle, like, you know, right now the middle. I'm not leaning to one side or the other. I call this the plain Jane category. The people them who just, the ladies who just sit down and, but as I said, them see said there's lessons to be learned. You know, say, why Kim, I mean, I'm not advocate, well, maybe I am. I'm just saying.
Talk about Kim Kardashian if you want. I'm not stopping you from talking about her.
They might want to go the furthest extent and go make a sex tape, but I mean, them can say, you know what? The boss, they seem to have attraction to girls who wear tight dresses and so on. So, and I know that him go pay me mine if him see me coming at the office. Oh, but something different going to them, man. You know what I mean?
I want to know what going at your workplace.
You know what I mean?
Somebody there at your workplace or wear some tight dress and distract you. But anyhow,
But the point being, like, all right, oh, I'm just help us is
Talk the
all
things.
get the young lady or get persons who feel like them want this, whether that them they might agree with it and say, you know what, well, how them start. You know what I mean?
All
How
right. So I keep on coming back to it, the authenticity. You have to choose it. There is no, I really don't want to do this, but I have to because so I'm going to try a thing.
Mhm.
You have to choose it. It has to be real. I think what people respond to, all right, we could go back to Spice. I think Spice's superpower is her authenticity. Because she said, skin out me pum pum. And you
Yeah,
know say at that she mean. She never says skin out me pum pum.
yeah, but then at the same time, remember Lady Star will tell you say, yeah, when she only do that when she go up on the stage, when she come off on the stage, she don't want to hear that.
No,
But
but
they
and that is exactly the point.
advantage, you
But
know?
it is real because that is what she's presenting. That is the package. That is the deal. Like me, my forehead big and me chat enough. Just imagine me in a situation. Everybody attack and me sit down over here so nice and quiet. Everybody go ask if me all right. They're not used to that
Mm-mm.
because they have experienced me authentically. Just like if I did one tech conference and me buck up in a Carlette, me can ask her what I want because she gonna know. She's gonna know.
Pull out your
That's
phone
true.
and say, this not working, fix it.
So if
So
I know
the
your king,
authenticity is
if I know your
necessary because that is going to make or break your brand. A lot of people think that a brand is something that you just put on and say, all right, I'm going to be this. Yeah, Beyonce have the Beyonce Sasha Fierce thing. You think Sasha Fierce is not Beyonce?
of course. Of course. So you say if I know
Sasha
your
Fierce is just an aspect of Beyonce's character or aspect of her personality. And she has honed it to a point where she can actually use it for a period of time to create an illusion that make you feel like you're the most desirable man in the world and she step on one stage 100 foot away from you and sing one song. And when she done sing, she tells her she thinks that she drunk in love. You think that she drunk in love with you. And that is just a part of the authentic, that is really a part of who she is. As a matter of fact, it is my personal opinion. I don't have any evidence of this. I think it's Sasha Fierce and her husband have sex. I would like them to release a tape just to satisfy my curiosity.
Oh gosh.
all right, so
That is just me thinking thoughts. I do that
nah,
sometimes. I look at people and wonder what they look like having sex. Don't pay me any mind.
You too.
nah, go follow you down now.
Yes, man, I do it all the time. I look on them and say, they're not only have sex. Yes, man, I do it. Or some very prominent people in politics. You look at them and you wonder,
No, no.
like the current president of the United States and his wife. Oh, they have sex. They thought
They
about
don't.
it.
Yeah.
Well, they have a child. They did at least once.
15 years ago.
All right. So in the final
I have
analysis,
these thoughts. Is what I'm saying. Just
in the final analysis, if I know your thing, leave it alone. Nobody go try a fight. Nobody try wear the tight up thing and go flirt with the boss if I know really your thing.
no. You have to be real. It has to be authentic. And furthermore, I don't even recommend you do that in a professional setting. I don't recommend you do that at all. If you and the person is mutually interested in each other, take it outside of the workplace and go and go do another. One little place where you can go from early establishment to restaurants and so on and so on. You understand? I don't recommend you do that in the office just because it makes sense for you to keep certain parts of your private life private.
I agree.
But this is just my own personal opinion. Ignore me completely if you feel differently.
No.
All right. So next, the flip side to this now is the same woman who is good at it and who is using it, and then you got have the set who be like, why look for her and watch her. Lord have mercy, look how she just a use of her, situation for get ahead. And yeah, that girl now, how does she keep her focus or not basically learn for no business with what everybody else has say and just focus?
Exactly. Shelly
No,
said
the
it, bottom line.
authenticity comes. That's why the authenticity is necessary. the authenticity is important because you're just automatically not going to care. Because if you care, you're not going to do it. If you care, people are going to have to say you're not going to do it. So that is why it has to be real. Because if I cared what people had to say about me, we would not be having this conversation.
Nope.
I've had people who I was friends with for over 10 years at the time tell me that they're not going to talk to me again because I speak too openly about sexuality and people will think that they're whores. And they're not going to, and we can't be friends anymore. And when I started fame, they stopped talking to me.
Tell
like
me
good malice me. Stop talking. You go now.
Let me malice them.
Tell them back.
But can I tell you, Carlette? Do you know that something like years later, I'm trying to remember which year, but all right, we can't remember the year.
Yeah.
Years later, my phone ring, and it was one of them. Her husband says that she never initiates sex.
Also, all of a sudden,
and he doesn't feel desirable. Can I help her? I said, certainly. My fee is and I'm available on these days.
Yes, yes.
She walk up and down and sing my praises now.
Yes.
But if I was concerned about what people think,
yes,
I would have been a completely different person from what I am. So that's why I talk so much about the authenticity, because if it is authentic, if it is real, she not go business.
And you clean heart, because you could have told her to go on about her business, but no, you didn't help her.
You know what? I understand that it was very difficult for her to make that call. You can imagine how much time she want to make the call and can't make it.
Yeah.
You can imagine, you know how much time she probably had dialed the number and you know how she tried other things and it never worked. You know, I was our last resort. I was our last resort. So I never had to do anything. She already went through all of that all by herself. I didn't have to. I just, well, you know, this is my fee.
Yes.
And I'm available on these days. Of course, I'll work with you.
All right.
Poor Vaughn trying to get a word in. Yes, Vaughn.
No, that's great. I love it. This is my kind of guess. Believe it. Trust me.
Our best guess.
I'm enjoying this. All right. No, Shelly. So, all right. Sex and selling yourselves. There must be a meeting place. You say authenticity and so on, right? So, from where you sit and understanding the power of sex and the power of it to really, get people's attention, get yourself noticed, that kind of thing. Just give me like your the question I asked one day was like a young girl, a 16-year-old girl, said she want to set up a cam in her room and send her make some pictures so she can take some pictures of herself, upload to some site and start make some money. Why she need to go to school, why she need to do. And then like that she can make money doing what she does. So there's obviously, especially in this technological point where we are in society right now, you can actually do that and turn like these Instagrammers who actually make money. Right? So your personal opinion and using sex actually push yourself forward and build a brand around yourself as a sexual, person, a sexual icon, a sexual proponent, if you will. Where do you down?
I think Carlette wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Listen, you can make money, but you can't keep money with sex. Yes. So if the girl come to you and say why she must stay in school, answer her that. What she get today, not gonna help her tomorrow when she less than sexy. What help her today, not gonna help her tomorrow when there's a new flavor that people like. What get her money today, not gonna help her tomorrow when the man thief the money, when the bank thief the money, when the taxes need to pay. At the end of the day, brains win out over sex every day of the week. In the issues
that come with your answer just now, Carlette, is not a sexual issue. It's just a bad businesswoman issue.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's exactly where I was
going. The bad businesswoman issue is solvable. Now, if a 16-year-old asks me that question, I'm going to first let her know that she should take the next 2 years and educate herself so she can run her business. If she wants to be in the business of sex after she becomes an adult, I will advise her all the precautions that she needs to take to protect herself. But I would advise her to take the next 2 years to educate herself about business and understand how she needs to manage her money and understand how she needs to make her money work for her. Now, one of the things that people don't understand about the porn industry is that a lot of women are millionaires billionaires out of the porn industry. And I'm not talking about just the women who you see on camera. You have women who have started their own porn companies. You have women who run production houses. You have women who have had to change the environment around porn production because they started to have doctors on staff that will test the actors when they come in to make sure that they're clean. You have women who demanded that actors who are getting penetrated by more than one man at a time have to be paid differently from the actors them who are just doing one man at a time. It is very technical. But the point I'm making is that why I keep on talking so much about the fact that you have to choose it is a very high risk job. And with every high risk job, it means that you put yourself on the line each time you go out. And it can be really, really lucrative, but it can also be very dangerous. And if certain things are not in place, you can end up being in a compromising position where you're either taken advantage of or your life can be in danger. So my whole thing is go into it with your eyes fully open. Now there are different ways that you can do it, and that's not quite so dangerous. The one that you said just now is webcam. You don't even need a webcam. Just turn on your phone. Get one of the website, then you pay a fee, a percentage of your subscription fee. So if you charge $14.99 to view your channel, whatever app you're using, them take 2% off the top and they pay you the difference. Them have all of the e-commerce set up, everything set up, and you put up your camera and you put your light in and you cock up your foot and you get busy. Lots and lots of people doing it. Whole heap of people making money from it. And my thing is, it annoys me whenever I see, I don't know how long you've been following the Kardashians, but the Kardashians were not so open about that sex tape. They were mortified. Whole heap of tears cry, apologies were given, and all of those kind of things. And that annoys me. You know why it annoys me? She knew the camera was running. Hey, one of my sex tape them go public, you know. Listen. I'm going to be the person in the interview who say, okay, pause here. Now, if you notice, what is happening here is, what are we apologizing for?
All right.
Why do adults have to apologize for engaging in a sexual act? Grown-ups are having sex left, right, and center, especially now in COVID. You know how much pitney I go ban out of COVID? Some ban already. You understand? So I don't think there needs to be any apologies. I don't think anybody needs to be explained to about what was going on. As a matter of fact, nothing I going to fear a sex tape. There are some celebrity sex tapes online that I should send y'all the link. Shakira are going with a bag of things. Shakira can teach a class. Shakira thinks hot like giraffes. You understand? Kim's sex tape, the trailer was hotter than the tape itself. She is so lame. She not going with nothing on the tape. As a matter of fact, if that is how she was going to make her money, she wouldn't be so rich right now.
We'll just use her as the example because, like, did you hear when I said $1 billion episode empire?
No, I know, but I don't think that's a fair. I don't think that's a fair assessment though, because the $1 billion wasn't made because of the sex tape. You got to know who Kim Kardashian was because of the sex tape. What you should talk about is our mother, and the fact that our mother used the opportunities to do what she do. So if I was going to tell that story using the Kardashian, I'll talk about Chris, not Kim.
We'll mention her, but I don't think she had the OG. She had the boss. She behind using.
Because Kim didn't even own the sex tape. She didn't even own it. She was like, "Oh my god."
This is where I'm just using her as the most obvious example. You can get way ahead in life if you know what you're doing. If you know how to utilize the skills and use your erratic capital to make some money. But they're not.
This is what I'm saying. That is the businesswoman. So all of the things that Carlette said is true. But that is not a sex problem. That's a lousy businesswoman problem. And you have some lousy businesswomen who are using their brain and they're still lousy businesswomen. Yes. The trick is to be able to manage your business, deal with the money. Like Jenna Jameson. Talk about Jenna Jameson. Jenna Jameson was one of the first porn actresses to ask for royalties.
Yes, yes. I was trying to find a picture of her that I could post in the chat.
Yes, well, you're gonna see her body parts, so maybe not. But yeah, and she has one of the most successful porn studios, and she have a channel, and like she revolutionized what women can do in porn. And one of the things that I appreciate about porn is the female actors get paid more. And if they don't want to work with a certain male actor, then take him off of the set because she's the star. She's the reason why people tuning in.
Discrimination. We want
well, we get discriminated against in so much other industries.
Listen, well, don't even try that around this.
We want to talk about industries where women are being discriminated about. We can have this conversation. We're going to need some more time on the show, though.
It's true, because funnily enough, before starting, where one of the ladies on Shark Tank, the popular show Shark Tank, she said, of being a woman in several male-dominated industries, she said, offhanded, what she have to do is put hike up her skirt, tighten her blouse, and go into the business meeting to see if she can hustle whatever she tried to. I'm just showing that she is a brilliant businesswoman. She has whole heap of accomplishments, whole heap of accolades, whole heap of different things that she's done to make her a multi-millionaire. But at the end of the day, she still understands that she have to hike up her skirt, tighten her blouse, adjust her cleavage, and then go see if she can make some money. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying a balance that sometimes has to be struck. The women don't like to hear it.
I don't think that's not the lesson you should take from that story. Because she did not have to do that. She chose to do it. And the lesson is she was able to read the room and adjust accordingly and get what she wanted done. But she didn't have to do it.
But so
the balance don't have to be struck. Because if you decided, say, you don't hike up no skirt and go in and no room, go do nothing, you just won't do that. And that's all it is. So I don't think that there needs to be a balance where that is concerned.
She got flack from all the critics because of what she said, obviously, because the CM.
No, I'm not talking about what she said. I'm talking about your takeaway from it. I heard what she said. I'm just saying that the lesson is not she had to do it. The lesson is she saw where she could have used her hike up skirt and tight up blouse to get what she want, and she chose to do it.
And
the lesson isn't, you need to strike a balance because you might have to do that one day.
Exactly. That's what I really meant to say. She understand that she could have used it to her advantage in that particular situation. So what may I say is, at the end of the day, I want persons to not judge women who choose to do this, because as far as they're concerned, they're just using it as a chess move to achieve a particular objective. So we need to appreciate that there is such a thing as erratic capital. When they have it, and if a woman decides to use it, that is their prerogative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If a woman decides to do anything that she want to do in her life, it's their prerogative. I would like people to leave women alone. I've been cussing about this for a long time. Leave her alone. We don't want to have children. That's our business. We don't want to wear a skirt. That's our business. Leave her alone.
It's not me. I wasn't there. I was not the scene of the crime. It's not me. I wasn't there.
I know it's not you, but I've been having this argument for the last 2 weeks now.
All right, Carlette, I mean, before we switch into our final segment, let me just get your final takeaway. I think we made you blush like 10,000 times. So we're
like 10,000 times. Like 10,000 times. And it's not that I don't agree. I do agree with just about everything that my friend says, but what she has that I don't have is that confidence. There are things that I may think, and from my I shouldn't blame my upbringing. I shouldn't blame anything else. I am less assertive, but just because I'm less assertive does not mean that I don't wholeheartedly agree that women need to be left alone. But before we move on, I can't have Shelly here and not talk about her passion. I mean, she and I have conversations at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Every time I see her in the paper, I reach out to her. Her flow. Tell us about her flow.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Well, I started Her Flow to empower women and girls about reproductive health and rights in 2016 through education and mentorship. And the foundation behind that was I wanted to create a space where we can learn more about our bodies, our sexuality, our health, our overall health, especially reproductive health. I understand that there's a lot of us that just don't understand, especially when it comes to something as simple as period. We think that having painful periods is normal. We think that having heavy periods is normal. We don't know that there are things that we can do from a lifestyle standpoint to have more healthy, less painful periods. And one of the biggest things that I want to achieve with Her Flow is to have normal conversations around periods that include men. And why men need to be included is, I don't know whose idea it was to protect men from female reproductive health. It doesn't make sense since they are a product of female reproductive health. You came out of a woman's body. So I don't understand why we have decided to hide the less than sexual parts, sexual experiences that we have. And so I think that we have a responsibility to not only include men, but to educate them about the challenges that we have, and also about the maintenance that our bodies need. And our bodies is not just a playground for them to come and jump up and down in and put their penises in. It is a place for them to actually respect and revere, because, like I said, they came from the body of a woman. Our flagship project is to end the period poverty in Jamaica. Period poverty, for those who don't know, is the inability to access and afford menstrual products. So you have women and girls in our society that they go through their menstruation every month without the basic access to just a menstrual pad, tampons, whatever it is. And they end up using all sorts of alternatives. They turn their towels into pads. They steal tissue out of the bathroom. There is a lady right now who's well dressed, who's sitting at her office desk, who's trying to do the best she can, and she's sitting with a piece of tissue in her underwear because she just didn't have enough money this month to buy a pack of pads. What if we can put pads in every public bathroom across the island? What if she can go into the bathroom at her office and have her period, and it have tissue to wipe, it have soap to wash her hands, and have menstrual products if she needs it? I mean, what kind of society would we have? How much more opportunity will be open to girls who stop from school right now because whenever their periods start, they don't have any products, so they just don't go to school. When they miss 4 or 5 days of school every month, how does it affect their education? Not positively. So period poverty is something that I've taken on. I've decided to do something about. Since COVID started, we've donated over 30,000 packs of pads, and I'm talking to Always now about taking, I think they say 18,000 packs of pads to schools across the island, so that the girls, especially the ones on the PATH program, can still have access to menstrual products. Because believe it or not, periods still a flow. Pandemic or not, period don't stop for nobody. Period don't stop for hurricane. Period don't stop for COVID. Period don't stop for storm. So bring it. Period still a flow. So it's something that I cannot stop doing. And somebody asked me the other day if I were to win the lotto, what would I do? I was like, that's just more money to buy pads.
Yeah. You are such an inspiration.
I didn't even think about it.
Your passion for this project is so great.
How can we help? What we can do? People who hear your voice and decide to want to help, want to support, how we can help?
I would say donate. I've not been able to do what I do without the help of the public. We've been very good in being able to get persons to donate products, even persons in the diaspora. People come to Jamaica with 2 suitcases, one with them clothes and one with pads. And people meet me at the airport. They send boxes with pads. One of the things that we really need help right now is with some funding, because while I have the pads, it does take money to move them around and to get them where they need to go. So we have a PayPal account, Her Flow Foundation. So if you search Her Flow Foundation on PayPal, you'll be able to make a donation there. And you can also visit my website, embraceherflow.com, and the information is also there. It's also on social media, Her Flow. We're on Her Flow on social media. We're very, very active. A lot of things. We do a whole heap of educational stuff. I started Period Awareness Day, October 24th, 2016, and we've been able to do Period Awareness Day activities every year since, including this year. We do a lot of virtual sessions and stuff like that. No, because like I said, the education is so important. Something as simple as knowing how to apply menstrual products and how long to wear them and hygiene and how to prevent infections and just, simple conversation like that. A lot of people don't even know. And I get that kind of feedback whenever I do the workshops. So that's her flow is
And
my
your
baby.
workshops have been international. So I mean, we're talking about
Yes.
Jamaica, but you've
Yes.
gone global.
Yes, I did a workshop last week, period awareness week. I did a workshop last week that had participants from Ghana, different parts of the US, St. Lucia. It's yeah, and it's so amazing because the period community is very connected online. So I was supposed to actually be doing some work in Africa this year if the pandemic didn't start. So we're working on that. Hopefully I'll get there at some point because they want the workshops there as well. And that is something that I'm really, really proud of because I didn't realize how necessary it was until I started doing it, how little we really understand about our bodies.
Swelled, and you've been so committed to it. So sorry, poor Vaughn. When me and Shelly get together, we spoke about period awareness, and there's so many issues around that, poverty, shaming, and all of that. But in terms of reproductive awareness, you spoke about how it is that women can be healthy. Right. Thank you for your first book. It was delightful and inspiring and very helpful. In point of fact, I need to buy a couple more copies because my copy went right around my office and then eventually I gave it away. I need to get another one. But you have a second one. I haven't got the second one yet, which is shameful. Yes. I'm a friend. I should get that.
Yes, it's right here. It's my body, period.
Right.
It's my body, period. I am so proud of the name of this book. I want it to be really sassy because I want girls to own their bodies from their girls. I think there's too much politics around female bodies, especially Black women. Like, I'm so annoyed every time I read an article that talks about how we comb our hair. Why are we having a conversation about your feelings about how I comb my hair? Don't get me started.
Yeah,
but
do you glad to have you back on to talk about, by the way. Shameless plug. Glad to have you back.
I don't, but I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out the software. I want to do one.
You say you chat no, whichever way you want to do it. You should. Yeah. You should. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I'm figuring out well, you can help me with the tech. I need to figure out the tech. Yes.
All right, fantastic. I mean, her flow. I mean, I did some interviews and did a program around it, so I'm aware of it. I know the work that goes into it. The whole power and strength here. I mean, just hearing some of the things that we heard about girls having to wash pads to reuse them and stuff like that. It's no. A father of 2 girls. I get it. This is not something I can ignore. It's not something.
I hope you have no problem buying menstrual products.
Well, them clearly, I know me, I use them, so I don't know nothing to buy them. Yeah, it's not a problem. You know what I mean?
Tell your friends.
A lot of men don't think that way, and that's true. I mean, you have lots of...
No, man, you have some men who think that it is disrespectful. As a matter of fact, women have been physically abused because they leave their menstrual products in the bathroom and the men go in after them and see it and she earn a box in her face because of that. Because our culture still celebrates that. When I was growing up, that is something that I was told. My period needs to be so secret that nobody needs to know. As a matter of fact, the words were, nobody needs to experience your period. So I don't know what experience they're having by bucking up on a menstrual product in the bathroom. I am a girl of a certain age. I am not pregnant. Chances are I have a period every month.
Exactly. And I remember this one situation I heard about where basically like this girl said her father, she lives like in a house full of men. I don't know if it was a single father kind of situation, but the father just routinely forgets to buy her pads because, well, he may use them. So therefore, it don't occur to him, so maybe my daughter might actually need sanitary napkins. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of mind changes, a lot of persons who need to have their minds expanded and open up. So
yes, my dear. Well, don't you worry. I am on it.
Yes, you are.
It's a very tall order, but I'm on it.
I watch from afar, and trust me, if you need support, we're there. You know what I mean? Carlette there.
I always need support. Send them to my website. Go donate $20 at a time. We'll take it.
You hear what she just
said? 18,000 pads there around the island. 14 schools.
So the website again?
embraceherflow.com.
All right, fantastic. All right, so we're chatting about a whole heap of different things. I think we can get into the rap segment, which is one book, one song, and something else. Just to
Yes.
get a bit more of your perspective, get for understanding a little bit. So, Shelly, give us one book, one song, and something else.
Oh, one book, one song, and something else. Art of Seduction. I've been reading that book, Art of Seduction, Robert Greene, for about 3 years now. And what it talks about is different types of seduction. Now, people hear seduction and go right away to sex, but it talks about seduction in terms of persuasion. Talks about people different ways of persuading people, whether they use the sexy or they use the smart or they use their personalities. It's very interesting. I've been reading that book so long because it's a very long book, and it pulls from different persuasive people throughout history, and I just find it really fascinating. I recommend everybody take a look at it, and you're going to learn something about yourself. Art of Seduction, Robert Greene.
Art of Seduction. Okay. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
so
One song.
Yeah.
The song that I'm really, really feeling right now, well, I am a 90s. I fell in love with music in the 90s. And so I am getting my Tupac on. Keep your head up, Tupac, because I'm trying to find music that inspire me and keep me motivated. We're living in a time right now that is very, very negative. You turn on the TV and you're hearing about how the world is falling apart. And you watch every TV show where you watch, somebody got dead and them go investigate the death. And it's a whole heap of negativity coming at us. So I try to find in my music something that keeps me motivated and keeps me smiling. And right now, Tupac is doing it for me. We keep your head up. So I'm getting my Tupac on.
Good choice. So something else, one experience you recommend some people try from where you sit. Sounds like a fun experience.
Something else, boost your immune system. We are living in the middle of a global pandemic. A lot of us are ordering all sorts of fast food and having it delivered to our house. Eat something green. Get some vegetables on your plate, and I'm not even joking. The only real defense you're going to have against any kind of pathogen is an immune system. Our bodies need to be able to fight off viruses and bacteria. We experience them all day, every day. COVID is one of them that's really causing a havoc right now, but we still have to deal with cancer and the flu and STDs and all the other things that are coming at us. So really, really decide what you're eating is healing you or if it's harming you. And if it is not healing you, change the way you're eating. What you eat matters.
Not gonna lie, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's disappointed every week. I kind of expect you to say something different, Dr. Sexy.
Yeah, well, if your body healthy, the sex is going to nice too. So hey, win-win.
This is true. Anyway, never mind. Did I speak too much?
All right, I think we can call it a show at that.
Yes.
So much.
I blush some more.
Thank you so much for coming through and dropping some knowledge on us. Like, just to recap, you said be your authentic self. No, but I try out for the sexy for no really your thing, right? Yeah, but at the same time,
I don't know what you know about me, sir. I might have to just take off the scarf here and make you see what I go on underneath it.
What's my halo? Me? I'm too what? My eyes? No, it's all right. But I try and fight it for your thing. But still, if it is your thing, I judge you. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. Really glad to have you here. Like I said, so like we need to come here, bring you back for our part 2 to talk about soap, art, seduction, and so many.
You know how to find me, man. That's not a problem. Right. You know how to find me.
All right, like take the opportunity to say, remember, subscribe to the channel. We have a whole heap of good content, a whole heap of things are going, so you will definitely appreciate it. Let that sink in, JA, on all the platforms. We're building ourselves, and I guarantee, like I said before, one of the best button presses you can ever make. So hit the subscribe button, like, share, tell a friend, all of that good stuff. All right, the last words, Carlette.
Thanks, Vaughn. It was delightful. Thanks, Shelly. Every time we get together, it is amazing. And I do encourage everyone to let that sink in.
All right, people. Bye-bye. Take care. And be good to each other.